Hello everyone, this is Callie with the Cosmic Haven Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to do our bi-weekly love reading. Before we get started, if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you would like to book a reading, head on over to thecosmichaven.com. If you would like some of this fancy artwork, head on over to thecosmichaven.com and click on the Etsy, the shop now, and it'll send you right to my Etsy, okay? And so I hope everybody is doing well since this partial lunar eclipse. I know I am feeling very exhausted, but at peace. It actually was a very peaceful lunar eclipse for me, which was absolutely wonderful. And so I hope you all had that same peace or had the same amount of healing, a good amount of healing going on during that. Did I say? I might have said solar eclipse. I mean partial lunar eclipse if I did say solar eclipse, okay? During that eclipse. And we are getting into the fall equinox. So we are winding down the year, getting everything wrapped up, the final lessons cleared, all cords cleared, and let's just be very intentional and be very present with where we are right now, all right? So the overall theme of this love reading is the Five of Pentacles. So I'm using the Hermetic Tarot deck just because this one is kind of like brutally honest. And I really love it, and it called for today. So there is this huge feeling, and I feel like a lot of it is you not being in your body. So you not being present in your body and being too filled up in the mind and all this worry. Spirit is really calling for you to dig deep, get grounded in your body, do yoga, do qigong, work out, get a grounding mat, something like that, because all of your self-doubts, all of your worry about, and this has to do with both romance and finance and just this overall feeling of lack that you aren't going to get what you feel like you deserve or you feel like you are working towards. So really being able to get grounded in your body will give you that sense of safety so you can open up and surrender and receive all that is coming to you, okay? And the Four of Wands, yeah, so it feels like, so this Five of Pentacles was for you. This Four of Wands is for your partner or your significant other that might be coming into being or may already be here. So this Four of Wands is also this feeling of lack of safety. However, theirs is more of this sexual passion, being able to open up and be intimate with people. That's really where their lack of safety is coming from. So both of you have these different levels of safety. So you feel like you are not getting the physical support that you need, whether it's monetary or, you know, just that physical touch. You're feeling like you're not getting that. And so it's really a call to get into your body. They're feeling like they aren't safe enough to open up and be passionate and express themselves and express desire for you, all right? And we've got the Six of Swords for you. So yeah, your mind is really actually cluttered, and there have been opportunities for you to let go of these habits, and it feels like you are working towards that. And maybe it is just the partial lunar eclipse that just happened where your mind is still a little bit ungrounded, and so there will be times where you are present and you are in the moment and you are really in your body, but more often than not you're a little bit stuck in your head. So take time to really figure that out. If you need to go talk to a therapist, I would go talk to one, because you are the person that's blocking all of this from happening, okay? It is your beliefs, your lack of safety that is reflecting into your partner's lack of safety. So you don't feel safe physically, they don't feel safe expressing their passion. And so we've got the Five of Swords for them, and it's in reverse. So it feels like for them, they have a lot of mental baggage going on, and it more so has to do with people that have been in their life. And it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't feel like romantic partners, okay? It feels more like they had friends or family or connections that really they just couldn't trust. And so they've kind of closed themselves off to love and off to expressing intimacy and feeling free to express themselves passionately. Okay, so they are working towards that, and we got the Emperor for them as well. So they are actually very strong people and have a firm foundation and really know who they are. It's just they're kind of wary about the people around them, and it takes a lot for them to open up and trust people. They trust you to a higher extent than most people, which is absolutely amazing. Just it's a process for them to open up. And you come out as the Empress, so that is wonderful. They're the Emperor, you're the Empress, so you do have these material aspects. So I feel like the Five of Pentacles coming here, this lack of physical safety, this lack of monetary safety, this discomfort with being in your body might be some old childhood trauma. I mean, whether you grew up in an abusive household or not, you might have some trauma that you have to deal with. And so I would suggest, if you feel so called, get a therapist, but also with your therapist alongside you, get some body work done, get some massage or Reiki, or if you still don't feel comfortable maybe being touched, there are some resources, maybe going to salt rooms or getting a sound bath done, because that really doesn't involve touching. Reiki can be hands off as well. But also there's some really great electronic resources. Like I tried this Vibro-Trim the other day, and it just really, just 10 minutes on this Vibro-Trim machine realigned my system, and it also loosened up my hip in ways that massage therapy hasn't necessarily done, and yoga hasn't been able to do yet. So I really enjoyed that, and it helped me get back into my body. So maybe finding things like that if you don't feel comfortable being touched, but always do that alongside a therapist, okay? Because it feels like some of this stuff, it really is some old childhood stuff. For a lot of you, it might be some extreme stuff that is going on, and it's not like, I wouldn't say you have very many symptoms of trauma. So, you know, we see a lot of people who might be alcoholics or might be some sort of addict, okay? So you don't necessarily have that, but what you do have is this high level of anxiety at times. And it's really about being able to calm that nervous system, because you are coming out as the Empress. So you do embody that divine feminine. And this can be for men or women. It doesn't really matter the gender, but you are really embodying that powerhouse, that magnetism that people want to come to, and that this emperor, your emperor, they're saying, wants to come to. But you have these things that keep you blocked off and unable to receive. So they are really giving to you, actually. It's just this traumatized side of you may not be able to receive that as fully as you could. And that really has to do with being able to be in the present moment, being able to ground and realize that it comes moment to moment. It's not this constant fix, this constant dopamine fix, okay? So I'm getting, for some of you, you might have a little bit of codependency and just needing that fix. And so being able to get in your body will help you fill your own cup, so you don't have to cling in an unhealthy way to another person, all right? And we've got the Seven of Pentacles. So it feels like, and this is for your Emperor, so this feels like it feels like they're just trying to get their money in check, to get their body in check. And right now it isn't working as well as they would like. It feels like they usually are very good with money, but something has happened over these past few months that they might just be a little bit worried about money. And of course we do have this election coming up, not getting too much into politics, but that always puts economic stress on people because we don't know what's going to happen. All right, so it feels like they just have some economic things going on that aren't so good. And as for you, we've got this Six of Pentacles in reverse. So you have all this money, okay? But you are still stuck in this belief of lack right now. And so, and it might not necessarily be like, oh, I'm filthy rich, but you are able to survive. However, there's this traumatized self where it's like, oh, I can't survive. How am I going to have enough money? How am I going to have enough money? Sit down and make yourself a budget, make yourself a timeline of the next few months, and you're going to start seeing that, oh, I actually do have way more than enough to make it through whatever it is you're going through. It feels like for these next few months, you feel like money is going to be a huge stressor, but that also feels like this is a cycle pattern for you. So it's like you'll get financially stable, then you look into the future and are like, oh, but what about, we're in September now, what about February? Okay, how am I going to make rent in February? And really, like, if you've made rent for October, we're in September, if you've made rent for October, don't worry about anything except the next best step, which is, okay, so I've paid all my bills off for October. Now I'm good. Now I can relax and allow spirit to come through so I can work on November, so I can work on December, so I can work on January. But you are like launching yourself a few months ahead of time, whereas you don't need to. So you're really closing yourself off to more abundance, okay? You've got the money, you've got this safety, you've got this security. It's your body that needs to know that you are safe. It's your body that needs to know that you are secure, okay? Then we've got this Two of Pentacles, Lord of Harmonies change for this Emperor. So it feels like they are getting into a new cycle financially. It doesn't feel like their financial circumstances are going to change dramatically. It feels like they're getting more present and more grounded, and knowing that this is a passing thing and being able to surrender to it so they can open themselves up to more finance. It feels like a few more months is going to take them to getting the financial stability that they once had, but you just have to accept that about them. They're going to be working and focusing on their money maybe for the next few months. And I know I always say this is a bi-weekly love reading, but time is a very fluid thing, okay? And then Justice, we've got the Justice card in reverse. So it really feels like you're facing this ending of a cycle, the opportunity to end a cycle, okay? And for some of you, it's going to be a very difficult thing to end. This is a more inward cycle, not an external cycle. So you have to be able to face this inner trauma, face these inner demons in order to end this cycle, and or not even necessarily end, because it's like we always come to higher levels of cycles, and these cycles don't necessarily end. It's just you become more present in them, and then they don't seem to matter as much. And so it's like they might exist, but they're just like background noise, okay? And they don't really matter anymore. So you have the opportunity to detach from this level of ego that holds on to the stressors of childhood trauma and really mitigate that and be able to be present. So whenever this stuff comes up, start taking a breath, start monitoring, maybe write it in your journal, or even write it in your phone when you notice it. 11:45, I felt anxious about money. 11:47, I felt anxious about money. And so then it's like the mind becomes aware of these thought patterns that send you into that downward spiral. Then we've got the Four of Swords in reverse. This Emperor is very busy, okay? And they're not really resting their mind. So I would suggest being very patient and being very understanding. And this is also feeding into your sense of lack of physical, whatever it is, touch, being able to talk to each other every day, being able to visit with each other every day maybe. So that's also triggering these beliefs of lack. So maybe for some of you, you didn't get the proper nourishment or the proper attention you needed as an infant and as a young child. And so this distancing feels like, oh, a parent is taking away your lifeline, parent is taking away your survival method. But it's like, no, they're just busy. They have a lot on their mind, they have a lot on their plate. They're trying to juggle many things at once. And so it's suggested to be very patient with them. I feel like they have like a lot of opportunities happening right now, actually. And it's going to be slow and steady, but being patient with them, being compassionate, having a good sense of humor is going to be really good. And it's going to be very vital, because if you can have humor and make them laugh, and that's going to fill you up, okay? So being really compassionate and surrendering that ego, like, I need you to talk to me at least an hour a day. I need you to buy me roses. I need to have a lunch date. Sometimes, like, these relationships, being able to step outside what society labels as a romantic relationship and realize you have to have a relationship with yourself first. You have to have your own needs met first. And sometimes that means being able to distance yourself. And that's where this Emperor card comes in. He's really able to distance himself and say, like, I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my business and my monies. And then I can come and do this with you. But until I have all these things set, until I have my life in order, I really can't do much, because it's not going to be a fulfilling relationship. It's not going to be one of presence, because I'm not doing what my soul is calling me to do. So being able to follow what your soul is calling you to do. And a really good book based on this is The Alchemist. No, I don't know. I kind of want to spoil it, but there's a part where the character has to make a choice between following his destiny and going after love. And so you do have to we all come to those crossroads in life, and the choice is following your life purpose, following that call for your soul to go forth and explore, and knowing that that person is always going to be there at the end of the day. Okay, so really being able to surrender and trust that is an important lesson for you, because they are going ahead with their stuff right now. So that is what I would suggest for you. One moment. My camera's being funky right now. I'm not going to stop this reading. So that is what's suggested, being able to surrender to that and accept that they have their life purpose, and just being able to hold space for them. And it's a lot of movie stuff that has been ingrained into our being, okay? And we are shedding that old Hollywood paradigm of love and the old 1950s version of love, the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. We are purging that, okay? And I mean, realistically, we look at things like Pride and Prejudice, for example. These people did not see each other for months. Like, the dude went and would go travel, and like, they traveled by horse, guys. So they traveled by horse and would have to write each other letters, and were still expected to love each other. And in Pride and Prejudice, apparently they did. And apparently it worked, and that's beautiful. It's kind of like that, okay? You gotta let each other go and do your own things, then come back and be happy. We've got this Five of Cups, so loss in material pleasure. So it feels like for some of you that this is just going to, you got to be careful, because it might be honestly erupting your face. So you might sink into that unhealthy codependent and feeling at a loss, getting these separation anxieties, or separation, not even, I feel like it's more like a separation depression, honestly, where this person's gone and you don't know what to do with yourself and you feel empty inside. A lot of you might go through that, and this is just going to sink you further into the cycle of the ego and being affected by distance. And I feel like eventually just drive them away, okay? So just be very careful about that, because we got for them the Knight of Cups. So they really are pursuing in their own roundabout way you. However, they know they have things they need to take care of before they come and get to you. So you got to be patient. And so we've got this Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah, being able to really heal these emotional wounds, this inner child, is going to be imperative for a lot of you guys. And then we've got the High Priestess in reverse, and I'm going to put this over here with you. So it just feels like for some of you, this is going to be a shock to the system, okay? And there's going to be a time where you are really deep into the ego and into this sorrow and into this loss. And I am just suggesting to be careful and to utilize any resources you have to get through it: meditation, therapy, any of these healing modalities, journaling, because it is going to be a lot for you, okay? I'm not going to say this is going to be easy, but once you start healing from this, it's going to be so much better for you in the long run than having this bit of codependency that you might be experiencing. We've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So, and this is back to you. It feels like for some of you, you guys are just holding a lot of stuff in and being really stubborn and not wanting to truly express yourself, because you're afraid that your needs aren't going to get met. So you're like, okay, well, I text this person 3 times in a row, or not, we've had a conversation, I've initiated 3 conversations in a row. When are they going to start initiating conversations? But maybe it's just you're the initiator of conversations, to put it quite simply, okay? Maybe they just aren't very good texters, and that's totally okay. But they might come for you in different ways, but it feels like you guys are withholding your energy and really protecting your energy and your physical being, where it's being suggested that you can release it. And you can release it by, we've got the Hierophant in reverse. So release it by releasing these old paradigms when it comes to love and when it comes to romance and when it comes to relationships. We've got the Star, so it feels in reverse. So it feels like the wish that you may have for what it is an ideal relationship is more so based on what society has told you or what parents have told you, even though what parents have told a lot of you really doesn't make sense. Like, a man and a woman goes and gets married and they live happily ever after, but for a lot of you it's like, man, no, that relationship actually wasn't very healthy at all. Is that true love? Because I don't want it. So really being able to dig in and see, like, what is it you truly want? What is it your soul truly wants? And there is so Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, these exercises to get into the body and to get into the present mind, I so suggest, because it's going to open you up to the portal of what love truly is, not what this mental image of love is that is being projected upon society. And that's really the key here. We've got the Six of Wands. So it feels like, and I feel like this is like the end of winter. You're going to feel some sort of victory in this area. So it feels like we're getting into fall, we're getting into that Persephone type vibe, okay? We're going down to Hades, we're going down to the underworld, and you're digging through this lack and through this energy. But at the end of the day, you are going to come out on top and come out stronger than ever. And we've got the Eight of Wands, and so yeah, like, once we get through this, it's like you guys' communication is going to be fire, okay? So there is a distance right here, there is a disconnect, but it's like he has to take care of his finances, you have to take care of your emotional stuff. Your finances are fine, even though your brain tells you your finances are not fine, okay? They are fine. And so once you get through all this stuff, it's like we've got these fire happening, and we've got this Tower in reverse, and I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. It's like a calming, like, oh, that crumbled, and this is great. This is peace. I just needed to tear down all this stuff around me, and now it's awesome. And this is an opportunity for you guys to rebuild something new. We've got the King of Wands in reverse, and that is a suggestion of going slow. Like, there is some beauty in going slow and working on yourself and refining yourself before moving forward, okay? We've got this Princess of Pentacles, and it is all about taking care of your body, taking care of your sensuality. And it feels like you guys are going to be able to have this coming together, okay? It feels like more so you are going to initiate it than them, but it's not like they are going to refuse, okay? Yeah, we've got this Three of Wands, this Lord of established strength. So they really will be open to exploring more with you. It's just y'all have to get through this winter. Some of you just have to get through this winter and get through this initiation, okay? And let me see, we're gonna do one more card. So the Hermit. Yeah, so after winter, this is the Hermit in reverse. So after winter is when you guys are going to be able to come out, and it's going to be encouraged for you to come out. But right now is not the time. We've got this Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and it's all about taking care of yourself and your needs. There is going to be this tightening and this inner refinement over winter. It feels like your mind is going to say everything's barren and everything's empty, but it's really you in this planning process. It's you in this sprouting process. And the Moon in reverse, yeah, so breaking through all this illusions. And I'm like, yeah. And the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is really just about breaking a cycle, okay? We can go on and on about this, but it's really about breaking these cycles and moving beyond the mind and this traumatic events that you've went through and being able to surrender. So, and it does feel like some of you are going to have a struggle surrendering, okay? From these cards, it feels like some of you, maybe a lot of you, just need this whole winter period to integrate this, and that's why it's going into winter. Some of you, it might take a few months, and maybe into winter, Christmas time, whatever. But for others, it might be, through winter where you really deal with this, and Spirit's going to sit you down and say, don't move. We're going to work on yourself. We're going to work on your self-love and really nurturing and caring for you and healing your inner child before we move forward, okay? So with that, we're going to do the numerology one because it's right here. And we've got, don't let your past hold you back, South Node. So really, and for a lot of you, maybe looking at your astrological chart and seeing where your South Node is. So my South Node is in Gemini. So overthinking, overthinking is really something where I have to be able to move on. What do I keep obsessing over? And why? And okay, let it go. Like, stop overthinking it. You finish this, we're not repeating it. So maybe look at your astrological chart, see where your South Node is, and see what aspects of that South Node you need to let go of at this time. All right, but it feels like, this person really does care about you. And it's just like they're busy dealing with their stuff, and you got a lot of stuff to deal with. A lot of you have a lot of baggage that you just haven't looked at that needs to really be addressed before moving forward into a healthy relationship. And it doesn't mean that you haven't been doing the work, okay? Those of you who have been doing the work, I applaud you. It's just an unraveling, okay? And it's very exciting to learn how to be in the present moment and in your body and really integrate it, okay? So don't be hard on yourself. Just take it as it is, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Take care.